So apparently we look rough. On Sunday,
I didn't say that.
I woke up and I looked in the mirror and I said, I look like I got hit by a bus.
Yeah.
And then I went to church, and then the first thing Josh said to me was, "Whoa, you look like you got hit by a bus." So this is either a great minds think alike situation, or I look that bad. So,
Or you actually got hit by a bus.
Yeah, that's certainly a possibility.
God, I wish.
Yeah, editing the last episode has put me on an entirely new vitamin regimen that I forgot to do today.
So you're not on it yet.
I just realized I had forgotten to take those. I should take them when I get home.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm doing this thing now where when I wake up, I don't look at my phone, and I go and I sit on my sun porch and stare at the sky for 10 minutes and eat a little breakfast, have a little tea, and take some vitamins. Hopefully, in the long run, that'll mean that I don't look so crappy.
But you didn't take the vitamins today. Did you do the rest?
No, I did do the rest.
You did the rest.
I sat. I had my little piece of toast. I had my tea.
But this is a glass house that if one small piece is missing, it will collapse and break like any glass house would. Is that the metaphor?
No, I think the glass house thing involves throwing rocks, but I don't know. So wait, what are you saying?
No, I mean
the fact that I missed today is just over.
Yeah, it's all falling apart.
Might as well
everything else you did is useless.
Might as well just stop caring at all.
Switch out the vitamins for like heroin.
Yeah, exactly.
At this point.
At this point,
I mean, why not?
One day down.
I was thinking the other day actually that heroin is one of those drugs where it's like you're gonna die. You should do, I think, kind of drug.
Yeah,
because
like you got a terminal.
You have a terminal illness.
Yeah.
You've got like literally minutes to live or whatever. Like a good way to go out.
Why not?
Would be on
Why not?
heroin.
It's supposed to be the best feeling ever.
No, that's not true. That's supposed to be crack cocaine.
Well,
what about fentanyl?
Fentanyl just kills you, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what fentanyl does.
That's the last one you take.
Yeah. I think fentanyl is just cheaper, and so people are willing to do it for that reason.
Yeah, I think it's just an amphetamine that's like super powerful. I think. I don't know. You don't come here for drug knowledge.
No.
You come here for
But
something.
I have enough drug knowledge that people are concerned. So
Yes.
there's that.
Have people brought this up to you?
Yeah. Well, when I talk to, I often have drug facts that I tell my wife when she asks a question. And she's like, "What's the deal with that?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's been on the street for X amount of years, blah 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 blah." And then she'll look at me and give me a strange look, and often brings it up in family conversations.
The facts,
with her
or
family.
that you have drug facts.
The fact that I have drug facts,
But she doesn't share the facts.
No, of course
That's
not.
withholding of
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, that means that she's trying to not be complicit, right? She doesn't want to continue the cycle of holding on to them and communicating them, right? This is forbidden knowledge that should not be spread, basically. That I have locked in this brain of mine.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
If you could try. To
Brant, what's the
unwrap
last drug you did? Preferably illegal. What's the last illegal drug that you
Illegal
did?
drug that I
Yeah,
did?
yeah.
I don't know what they put in those cough drops, but let me tell you.
Like Ricola?
Yeah, the Walgreens special, actually.
Yeah.
There you go. That
Yeah.
Walgreens
I the other day, so I had like a cough or something, and this was I think 4 or 5 months ago, and I was just popping Ricola cough drops, and I would like
much like one would do at the club.
Yeah, right. And I had like 4 of them or whatever in like
All at
an
once?
hour,
Wow.
right?
And I could literally eat those like candy.
Well,
and I have.
Oh, I
Yeah.
hate them.
Well, so my wife was like, "Have you read the back of that thing?" I was like, "No." And I flipped it over, and it's like you're only supposed to have like 2 every 4 hours or something. And you can
Really?
OD on Ricola. I don't know how.
Well, so you are the man that OD'd on zinc. So.
I did OD on zinc, so I'm particularly good at ODing on things. That's why I had never done a hard drug. That's because it will kill me. But
And this is just over-the-counter medication.
it is over the counter medicine. I can't be trusted with cough drops, and not even like the really cool cough drops that are basically heroin. It's just the regular cough drops. Though I had a super bad cold last week, so I did not OD on it, but I did NyQuil,
NyQuil.
which I feel like makes me feel worse.
I did see Dayquil in your office as well.
I did do some Dayquil as well, but
so,
Dayquil makes me nauseous. I get nauseous. I want to puke a little bit when I have Dayquil. I'm glad I have such supportive
Did you get
friends.
some chicky soup to help that day? Help you feel a little bit better.
No, I was just dry as hell and sitting at my desk.
Mm.
So dry right now, man. It's crazy
Everything's dry out here.
Yes.
I have a humidifier next to my bed, and it's going all night, and it still doesn't do anything.
Exactly. No, I woke up this morning and I felt like we have a humidifier. We bought one. I feel like I need to buy 1 or 2 more and just have them constantly running.
Guys, I feel like this is all, you folks in the underclass dealing with your humidifiers instead of having one built into your air system.
Oh,
I live in an apartment. Excuse me, I don't have the choice.
Well, yeah. Again, you plebeians, you peasants
My
out here.
landowning person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you are not one of
exactly.
the gentry. I do not know why you are at my table.
I was invited, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, a non-voting American, as we say.
Yes. There you go. Goodness, guys, freaking A, dude. We got Brant back on the podcast. How did that happen? Dude?
It's good to be
How
here.
did we
Because
how do we let him
it's
slip
been
in?
far too long since Brant has
true.
been on the
Yeah,
show.
that's true.
Far too long since he's been at Hillsdale. Far too long since he's been on the show.
Yes.
For about 3 weeks.
Yep.
Been about 3 episodes. We've got him back. The people just clamor. They go, Brant, where is he? Every day. I'll literally wake up and they'll be outside my door banging on the windows. With signs that got your face with a heart around them,
And they choose to come here. They don't come to find me.
No,
No,
because they don't
You're
actually.
like your fan club is like, your fan club is enough for them to wake up early and knock on his window, but not enough to go to Southern Illinois for some reason.
They're lazy enough, yeah.
Well, no, they actually come from all over America. They just
That's true.
prefer the Brant they see on the podcast,
Than the
having been burned many times, meeting him in person.
Exactly.
That's right.
Never meet your heroes.
No.
Brant famously prickly when you meet him in person.
Famously,
I will hurt you.
punched a man at a convention that
Yes.
just was asking for his autograph.
Yep.
So that was crazy, and I saw him.
I
pick
thought he was
up
reaching for my wallet.
I saw him pick up a toddler by the hair once, a small little girl, pigtails, by the hair. It was crazy.
Swung her around.
And who can forget those, his arrest tape after the drunk driving incident?
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy.
That's when I was on the cough drops.
Yeah, exactly.
That was all in Minecraft, by the way.
Yeah, Brant Cohen, rehab.
Goodness.
That'd actually be kind of funny. Well, what would your strategy be on one of those?
Brant Cohen goes to rehab.
No,
Is that
like-
this episode.
No.
What my strategy? Get out.
What would your strategy be on like one of those celebrity rehab shows? Because I feel like the
Is
reason
it a competition?
no, because it's sort of a competition in that you're supposed to sort of you're trying to be the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only people who go on Celebrity Rehab or any other of like Dr. Drew's shows or whatever are people who are trying to revitalize their career because it's already at rock bottom because they're going to rehab in the first place and then they're going to be on Celebrity Rehab. So like, what do you do in that circumstance to raise yourself? Like imagine Brant Cohen, Dr. Drew came to you and said you're on the next season of Celebrity Rehab.
Mm-hmm.
What's your go-to strategy? Are you gonna like freak out a lot? Are you gonna skinny dip? Are you gonna like cuss out Dr. Drew every time he tells you to stop doing
No,
crack?
I'm gonna be the one that escapes. I'm always gonna keep trying to escape. Each
you
one
go.
getting more elaborate, and
Yeah.
then they get even worse. But I think they're even more elaborate. You
You're
know,
like wearing a
plastic
mustache.
spoon. Yeah. Clawing at the cinder block wall. I got it this time. That little chip of paint took me 1 month.
Oh, goodness.
Beautiful. It would be impressive. It'd be impressive.
That would be fun.
I would most likely. I think just unadulterated violence at all times will at least get you in the papers, right? And what's
Exactly,
more
yeah.
important than that?
Dylan Strehle kills Shifty Shell Shock and Pamela Anderson on Celebrity Rehab.
Yeah, well,
But is that actually a show?
Yeah, you don't know about this?
No.
Yeah, it's like they just have there's this guy named Dr. Drew who's like I guess a celebrity doctor kind of character, like a Dr. Oz sort of dude. And he just has a bunch of washed out celebrities in his rehab facility, and they do like, and they all like are in rehab for different things, so it makes no sense for them to all be in the same rehab facility. It'd be like somebody who's addicted to drugs, somebody who's like a sex addict, and et cetera, et cetera. And they're all just like in one facility, and he has like group sessions and like one-on-ones, and they're all filmed, and then of course it's like, and this week, Shifty Shell Shock got out of control, and it'll be him like shirtless being like, I want to get the crap out of this place, then it'll cut to commercial and it'll be like, Activia is great for your health, we got bio, and then it goes back to people screaming at each other at a.
So you've watched a lot of this.
No, I haven't watched a lot
No,
of it,
no,
but
just
I'm
enough.
familiar with the ebbs and the flows.
yeah, with the form,
Yes.
So you would be violent.
Yeah, straight violence. I would break a lot of glass over people's heads, I think.
Would you do physical violence to the people? The doctor.
I think that was what was implied.
Well, no, I mean you could be.
But I would also gaslight everybody there. I think would be the other thing I did.
I'm not on drugs. Like we see a needle in your arm. You're like, you
Throw
must-
it behind me.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
You must be going crazy.
That's
That's kind of funny. Gaslighting is just essentially what every drug addict does.
Yeah.
constantly.
I don't know what you're
I'm
talking
not
about.
high. I'm not high right now. It's like, no, your pupils are the size of of atoms. You're most certainly high right now. No, Not at all.
Never.
Never.
Are you calling me a liar?
Are you calling me a liar right now?
Another problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about your shit? What's your strategy?
My strategy is to be a good little boy.
Oh
No,
Yeah.
Oh, be
no.
pure as the driven snow.
Be pure as the driven snow, but then like come out with a drug problem. You know, don't do drugs while I'm on. Play the game. Be the good boy, and then just go home and continue.
So
to
you
do
know
drugs.
you'd be the return.
Yes.
You know,
celebrity.
here's the
Yes.
thing, though, is that you know what the tabloids would say about that? They would say, finally, Shadrach Strehle on Celebrity Rehab. Turns out he's just a dork. Turns out he's not cool at all. Doesn't even
That's
do
true.
crack.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Drew, for having me on the show.
Start getting laughed at by all the celebrities in there.
Yeah. Disgraced podcaster Shadrach Strehle on Celebrity Rehab.
You know, a lot happened after I got canceled.
Yeah.
I turned to crack
Turned
cocaine.
to crack cocaine after I ranked the continents last episode.
So another show I've been getting into a little bit was The Boys.
Yeah.
You know, but it not so much.
I mean, we all knew you'd be into the boys, Brant.
The
Shut
Boys.
up.
Send me to rehab.
Yeah.
Send me.
All right. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard good things about the boys.
No, it's interesting. I mean, well, one, we were talking about drugs. And this is what made me think of it.
Yeah.
Was that, you know, they have this drug that you could become you get superpowers
Yeah.
for 24 hours. Would you take it?
Would I take it? Well,
Yeah.
duh.
Well, but
What are
you-
the side
the
effects?
joy.
You get sick. You start vomiting. All those. It's not good stuff.
Well, yeah, but then I'd be able to
But you also
topple
don't know
a
what your
small
power
country
is.
in 24 hours. Oh, you don't know what your
You
power
don't know what your
is?
power is till you take it.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
I'd probably have just some dumb
Yeah.
power. See, the thing is,
Probably
people
bad
always
luck.
people always ask you, like, they always say, "What superpower would you get?" Right?
Yeah.
Right. What about what superpower do you deserve? What superpower would fate grant you?
Mhm.
Right. That's a totally different ball game.
I would be able to grow my eyebrows out a little faster. I think that would be mine.
A lot of
It's
sarcasm.
10%.
You could
Yeah.
concentrate very hard.
Yeah. Just you wait, Dr. Baldy. I'll be out of here before
Yeah.
you could say lash.
Well, there's like that Homestar Runner bit where Bubs can fly, but it's exercise or whatever. Like it just it's like running, so he just doesn't do it.
I can float 3 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what would you get? What do you think you would? What do you think you deserve?
What I think I deserve, I think that probably it would be something silly. I think that the coolest would be to have some sort of super strength.
Yeah.
I'd love to have some sort of super strength, and I imagine what would actually happen is I don't know, be able to like speak every language or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me ask you this though: would you? People always say, "What power would you want, or do you think you're going to get?" Have you ever wondered? Would you rather bend an element like an avatar,
Yeah.
or have a superpower?
Probably superpower, depending on if I got to pick it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it depends on the superpower. Random superpower, then I
Both random.
Both random?
Yeah.
Oh,
What-
element, easy.
Oh,
Because that's
element.
between 4 choices and hypothetically an infinite number of choices on superpowers.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
you got to give me a pool.
There's a
or
lot of
else-
superheroes.
Yeah. Well, see, Brant's
Is
trying
it
to get out of here without us telling him what power he deserves.
Yes.
Oh
right.
no. Okay. What do I
For
deserve?
me, is every time you fell over, a slide whistle would play. That's what I would choose for you.
That'd be funny. The comic,
It's more of a punishment.
yeah, the comic sound effects man.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a rim shot every
the
time.
Foley man.
Yeah.
I can make every situation better.
Yeah.
Uh,
That actually would be kind of a funny power if you
Mhm.
had like a soundtrack or something. People
Mhm.
always make that joke about having a soundtrack, but what if it was a superpower?
mm,
Yeah, I mean, that'd be kind of cool.
It'd be really tough for you.
Hollywood, if you want it,
Yeah.
well, $20 will give you the idea.
Yeah.
$20 at a big chicken. That's all we want. That's all we need.
Yeah, yeah. It'd be tough to sneak up on people. It'd be certainly tough to sneak up on people.
Well,
so
they
what?
got the
What?
sneak up music, you know.
Yeah. What is it about the boys that you're enjoying?
I don't know. I think what I've enjoyed is that I feel like the superhero world of entertainment is coming
Yeah.
to its peak of we're pretty much beyond the good hero fighting a good battle. And I think, at least in pop culture, we're getting closer to we want like more like the Deadpool, but even now the boys where it's like, what is superheroes in a corrupt, you know, where they're corrupt
Yeah.
and they're more evil rather than fighting for justice and good. It's become the business. It's they're just doing bad things.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's the way that they are saving or turning the franchise of superheroes away from what we've seen so much over and over.
Yeah. Which I don't necessarily think is like a super original thing, because there's been a lot of people who've done stuff in that space.
Well, here's the thing, though, is that I I know where you're going with this, but that was sort of within the comic space for a very long time.
Yeah.
But that was because that was the conversation, right, within that space. Now I think it's more of films and television because films and television have been more hero-centric for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Right. After 20 years of comic books, they finally were writing comic books that were cynical takes on comic books, right? You're just doing the same thing now in the cinema space. And The Boys was a comic book that did that.
A really
during the
bad
90s.
comic book.
Very
Was it really?
bad, very
Yeah,
poor.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's a bad comic book. It's a similar thing where it's like undermining stuff, but it's just poorly executed.
Yeah.
And it's just very stupid.
Mhm.
But
But that's what I enjoy about this, at least for me, because I'm pretty much done with Marvel, and
yeah,
I still kind of enjoy the idea of the superheroes, or at least the powers and watching them interact. But it's also nice that the show sort of removes the collateral. It removes the wall of no collateral damage.
yeah,
So there is blood, there's gore, and it's like, but that adds a bit more reality to it.
yeah.
So that mixed with, well, if they have all this power, why do they have to be good? So I think both of those things kind of draws it more into reality for me.
Yeah.
And I
mean,
appreciate
it's
that.
much closer to what it would be like if real human beings just happen to have superpowers, which I don't know. One day, potentially. I don't know. I'm just pulling that out of my ass.
I don't know. There could be a serum somewhere. That
Yeah, a
they're working
serum.
on. Yeah.
A syrup?
Yeah.
A
Some
syrup.
syrup?
Some syrup. Yeah, it's actually just flubber from the film Flubber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just start bouncing.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, the original superhero,
Yeah.
Flubber. Guys, this show actually has about something
Mhm.
periodically. Yeah. The last episode wasn't really, but this show in general, as a pitch, is about something. And what it's about is that we talk about somebody's monomaniacal obsession, right? What they're into right now. We bring them on the show and we talk about it. And that's why we brought Brant on, because we know that he's probably got something real good, something real spicy
You
To
just
talk
you
about-
wait. Just you wait.
to talk about on this episode. So, Brant, what
Yeah.
is your monomaniacal obsession?
My taxes.
Your taxes.
No.
Wow.
Brant?
I'd have a lot to say about that. I would.
I mean, well, I mean, it is something I'm focused
Yeah.
on right now. I don't want to go to jail. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I am trying this year to do my own taxes. Usually, I pay
Yeah.
somebody, but this time I figured I'd.
As in, like, through, like, software?
no, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Online IRS stuff. There's a website you can do it for free.
Oh, wow.
So, but I found out my HR has already screwed up my W-2. So the first year I'm trying on my own, it's already screwed up.
Oh, no, we're falling into the trap. We're talking about
I'm
taxes.
sorry. No, my obsession right now actually has been sort of living out my New Year's resolution. My
yeah.
physical fitness has been my goal for the year.
Ah.
It's actually, there's more holistic than that, but
Yeah.
I've sort of ended up unintentionally slicing off part of the resolution. Because they say within the first week you kind of give up.
Yeah.
I haven't given up on the core of it,
That's good.
but the rest of it didn't even start.
So,
So
the
what was
spirit
the-
of it is
yeah,
continuing.
the spirit is there.
Yeah.
All right, so what was the original
Yeah.
New Year's resolution?
Give
It's
it,
a-
give
yeah.
it us to us in full.
Because we're
please.
officially in February now,
Right.
which is, death to resolution time. So,
Yep. So I'm so far. It's, but no. So my full resolution has actually been to take advantage of my mornings.
okay.
So as you said at the beginning, getting up in the morning, going outside, spending 10 minutes to look at the sun and take
Makes a
your
huge
vitamins.
difference.
I'm the person who gets up, and my 35, 40 minutes before I have to head out to work is just me either on my phone or scrambling to get to work, and then I get to work a little late.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. I don't spend my morning doing anything else other than either those two things.
Yeah.
And I feel like then I get home and you make your dinner and you're tired and you've had a long day and you just kind of sit and you just squander away the rest of the day to relax and debrief,
Yeah.
but you don't do any sort of self-improvement.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was leaving valuable time on the table to do something that was more important, even, if it's just a varying of different things. But I figured what I wanted to do in the morning was get up and try to read, even just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I try before I go to bed and I fall asleep every 2 pages.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen.
You're like red fish, blue fish, and then you're out. And
Yeah.
before even
Done.
the fish has a star on it.
I've been reading The Sun Also Rises for
Oh,
3.5 months now.
Yeah.
It's not a hard book.
yeah.
So I wanted to get up. I wanted to read, and it was either going to be an actual, like, a fun book, or I was going to sign up for, like, an online course and try to, not like one of the ones that college does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And kind of follow along, like reread Dante and then go through one of the professor's analysis of it. or something sort of more scholarly to, again, and do a little bit of self-improvement in the morning. So at least I don't feel like I'm just going straight to work and coming home.
Yeah.
Going to bed, straight to work, coming home, and then living for the weekend. And then in that was going to be a little bit of reading and walking and some sort of like home calisthenics, like push-ups, pull-ups, ab workout. Again, just little bits of improvement.
Maybe you've been working out for a while now, right?
Well, so this is the part that's maintained.
Yeah.
I've been.
You haven't been doing your mornings right, is what you're telling me.
Mornings have not happened. Every night I set my alarm. I give myself an hour and a half buffer in the morning.
Yeah.
8 hours of sleep every night still, and it does not happen. I'm still running late to work.
Getting
every
up
morning.
is the hardest thing in the entire world, and I think that there's like some people who claim that the act of getting up early and whatnot is the thing that sets the tone for the rest of your day and etc. And like Jocko Willink would be like, the first thing you should do is like get up early and do something you don't want to do. Or
Make your bed.
Make your bed. That's Jordan Peterson. Take a shower, make your bed. But
You're a dirty boy.
yeah,
You're disgusting.
No, Kermit.
yeah. That's more of the JP route there. But there I think that Brant, what you're sort of getting to, right? Because you've been working out consistently, right?
Yep.
And you've been working out for a while,
Yep.
if I remember properly. So you told me yesterday you lost some weight, so
Yeah.
congratulations.
Well, that's the whole thing.
And that's been in the first month?
yeah. So
wow.
I'm down 10 pounds.
Congratulations.
Wow.
That's
So
nice.
it's-
That's a
yeah.
good rate.
Well, because part of the resolution was to do the walking, and so instead of doing it in the morning, doing it in the night.
Yeah. So wait, is it just walking and exercise, or are you like changing your diet around too?
My diet's never been that bad. People are surprised. I eat no more than 2,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
Even like if I wasn't tracking it, that's about where I'd fall, between 15 and 2,000. So now what I've been doing is tracking it consistently to making sure I'm not missing something.
Yeah.
And then I've been trying to get a minimum of 6,000 steps. I realized how sedentary I've been over the past several years. It didn't help when my office was on the first floor of the apartment building I lived in.
Yes.
For 3 years.
This is a struggle I've run into working from home.
Yep.
Right. But I haven't been as much because of the weather, but I more often than not was walking 2 miles a day, which
right.
made
That's
a huge
good.
difference. Right.
So the walking has really been, I think, the key that puts it all together. So I've been lifting since probably August of 21 on a regular basis, at least 2-3 times a week. I started slow, trying to build it up.
Yeah.
The past year, it's been at minimum 3 times a week. Now I'm almost going in 5 days a week. And that's within the past couple of months.
Yeah.
Since January 7th, I've been getting 6,000 steps a day. And I've been keeping the calories around 1,500, and I haven't, I still have ice cream, all that stuff, and I've made a great impact.
Yeah.
Pretty dang quickly.
So I think that the thing that you need to be focusing on then, this is just from me as a guy who doesn't have his life really together, and this is something that I've noticed about myself that has improved my mood and my direction a little bit, is that like actually making time for a real hobby.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think that what you're trying to do by having your mornings work, right, or whatever, is, getting the reading done, or et cetera, right? It's good to have your self-improvement all laid out. It's good to have your job, but something that I've noticed is that my free time is not used properly.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm sure this is something that you run into as well.
I mean, that's what this is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a waste of my
Because your free time, we have this constant low thrum of entertainment, and for me, my free time is taken up by staring at my phone.
Yep.
Or watching a YouTube video
Yep.
and whatnot. And like those are things that are entertaining, but they're not actual like enriching entertainment in any real way. Like watching a movie or playing a video game is much more enriching than what I do.
Yeah.
Right. Which is just have myself passively entertained by just something going on in the background.
Well, just yesterday before going to bed, I was watching a clip of a husband calling from the Iowa State Fair. Right?
Oh, are you talking about pig calling?
But no, it's husband calling.
Yeah.
instead.
Have you ever heard about this?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Is it the same thing, or
Except for just women shouting about
their husband's name? Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Dylan.
Wow, it's funny that you chose me to be your husband there, Brant. I don't know how I feel about that. Flattered?
Complimented.
You are
First
too.
and
I've been
foremost.
working out for you, Dylan.
Yeah.
Oh.
You are to his.
Is it hot in here, everybody?
You are to his right. It's like probably self-conscious.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
I will say though, I want to dial back just a little bit and emphasize a point, which is Brant.
Yes, sir.
You said the core
of your New Year's resolution has been upheld. The spirit has been upheld.
Yeah.
Right. Doesn't sound like
Doesn't sound like it. Doesn't sound like
It
you
sounds
wanted to repurpose your mornings, and it sounds like you have a vague idea of self-improvement, and just the idea of a New Year's resolution has been upheld, but in a different methodology.
Well, I mean, the walking was part of the morning. It's been.
Can we
moved
get
to the
this guy
evening.
some water?
Please? Thank you.
Yeah.
The
Fill
walk.
mine up as well. Thank you. Sorry. So you were just coughing. I felt bad for you.
No.
Poor kid.
Well,
It's
you
dry.
said everything is dry.
It's so dry.
It's everything.
I do not know what you guys are talking about. I have been moist as hell, dude.
Oh,
No
my.
problem
Yeah, lucky.
whatsoever.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been
Well,
bad.
this is your house.
Yeah.
This is my kingdom.
You're
dude.
used to
It's my
your
castle.
built-in humidifier, you know, you fancy person.
Wait, what can I say? What can I say? No, but it is something that I think that, what you have settled on is what I think most people end up sitting on, which is they set goals that are too high for themselves and then hopefully find an intermediate sort of thing to do as opposed to just giving up on it because you don't accomplish those goals. So that's a healthier way to go about
But
it.
let's focus on what I was saying earlier
I like this.
about a hobby thing.
Yeah.
Because I think that's actually important. Like, because Brant, you said you want to read, right?
Yeah.
And like, I think that.
Please, sir, teach me how to read.
Yeah. All right. This makes an ah sound. I would say that it's important in my mind, and I think this would be important for you as well, that reading thing, or that just trying to take some of your browsing time and turning that into productive time,
right.
as in reading or writing or because it can be really easy to turn all your hobbies into just staring at the box.
Well,
Right.
and that's what happens, and that is, yes, I guess that is more of the core of what it has been, was to try to repurpose my morning to have a hobby that it's not just me going to work and coming back from work.
Dankeschön.
Joshua Liebhauser caught in 4K
Yeah.
on camera.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes.
Water. It's
Water.
good for you.
I'm out here doing fine, dude. No problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, finding a hobby was kind of the goal, and so I was hoping to, like I said, self-improvement, finding a hobby, reading, studying more scholastic stuff, like I said, doing the workout, stuff like that's part of.
Yeah.
I mean, can working out be considered a hobby?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
So,
so. in
yeah.
some ways.
So in some ways, that's why I said I feel like
But
I
how
was,
do you view it as a hobby though, Brant? Because it's a
view it as a way-
mentality thing.
It's I view it as a hobby. I view it as a way to not waste all of my time. So like I am doing something that is both productive. I'm learning something new. I mean, I am learning something. I'm watching videos. I'm reading about how the all
muscles work.
the muscles work. What are they?
What's a toe?
Where do they
What
come
is it?
from? But like I'm learning about the movements, the exercises, what works,
Yeah.
how to structure, why 8 reps versus 10 versus 15. So I've spent a lot of time watching more instructional videos and in depth about it. So in a way, I'm trying to treat it like a hobby.
So where do you work out?
My apartment gym.
Your apartment gym. You have an apartment gym.
It's actually pretty nice for
Yeah.
apartment gym. There's we got one rack. It's a
Nice.
Smith machine rack, but it's like we still got one. And we got a lot of free weights, and then there's a 4-sided cable machine. That's
Okay.
pretty much all I use, and that's enough to get everything I need
and
done.
like 6 ellipticals and then
There's one Stairmaster. There's one
Yeah.
guy who does Stairmaster for 3.5 hours, and like
I want to be that man.
Yeah.
it is insane.
That is
It is
beautiful.
insane. And I don't know how he slips.
That
The stairs are
man's-
just
You could
soaked.
probably a bullet would ricochet off his calves.
Yeah, I was about to say those calves got to be. They could crush a watermelon
Yeah.
with those thighs, brother.
And then at the end, when he finishes up his exercise, he just runs for like 10 flights of stairs after doing 3 hours of it. And I've asked him, I said, how long are you on there? It's 3 hours.
Beautiful. It's
Yeah.
a great
day?
thing.
No, not a day.
Okay.
Several times a week.
How do you
though.
even find the time for 3 hours in
3
the
hours.
gym?
I mean, maybe that's just what you do when you get home. It's
Yeah,
just like
I'm
I,
sure
I
he's
get home and I
unmarried. He's
go-
just
go
Mhm.
Yeah.
crawl upstairs.
Is he like watching a video or anything?
No, he just stares straight ahead. I mean, he's got headphones on. So he's
that
definitely
is
listening to
actually
something.
well, yeah, I
Yeah.
was about to say that would be psychotic. If
Yeah,
you
if
just
he-
stared
he's just-
at
and
a
he
wall.
keeps a perfect posture. He's straight
Yeah.
up every time, and it just
I wonder what he's listening to. There's that, I wonder what he's listening to
Yeah.
meme. But like, I seriously wonder what he's listening to. I'd like to think it's some sort of, like an embarrassing audiobook of some sort.
Yeah,
But
we're talking erotic pony audio
Yeah.
kind of books. Yeah.
and he's just
it's. I mean, it is insane. There's a lot of interesting people that come to this gym. There was this one. I was there one night. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and this guy brought his girl, his 5-year-old girl,
Okay.
and I should say this dad, and he has a huge beer gut, and
Yeah.
he's on the treadmill for about 10 minutes total,
Yeah.
and then he goes home.
Mm-hmm.
But meantime, that's 10 minutes while I'm getting ready, like to start working out. His little girl is like running around. He has no care in the world. She is hiding behind the pillar and she's jumping out and smiling at me. And then I start working out, and she just like stands next to me. I'm on the bench and I'm doing curls, and she just starts spinning her arms and hitting me. So then I get up and I just move over, and he just kind of looks over. And he just goes back to his back turned to the whole gym. And then she just starts mocking me. She picks up some heavy weights, and she's like, "Arr, arr." I'm like, sir, your daughter.
That's funny. The first thing she does is make fun of Brant.
Yeah. So what I do, I give her the lightest dumbbell, because she's gonna hurt herself trying to lift up a heavy one, and she's getting one up. But you know, so I just gave her one, and her dad eventually turns around. He sees that. He's like, no weights, and he puts it down. And I'm like, well, at least she wasn't hurting herself. Turn around more.
See, the best thing is Brant. He knows he's got such a breadth of knowledge that he can give parental advice. He can tell kids how they should be working out. You know, that's something
you learned in those videos you were watching.
Yeah.
It was like, little girl, don't lift a heavy weight. You'll hurt yourself.
If you're gonna start out, at least start with the 5.
Yeah.
Put in your knees.
Yeah. Lift like a mom in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, is that?
the
Let me ask you
2
this:
5 pounds.
Is that wrong though? I mean, she was probably 3, maybe, like trying to lift
that's
up.
way younger than what you had before.
Yeah,
You had her at 5. That's
Yeah.
a big
Did I say
development.
5? She was 3
You're
or 5.
losing a year a minute.
She was
over
very
there.
tiny.
Okay.
So I don't really know 3 and 5-year-old differences.
I would imagine 3-year-old is probably more likely
Yeah.
based off that behavior.
Yeah.
But
She was trying to talk to me, and I just kept my earbuds in. I just kept looking at her like, Brant, you got your AirPods in.
Yeah.
And then, but she just every time I picked a new machine, she just sort of kind of inched closer, and then she would.
See, here's the thing: is
she's
that-
talking to you in all yours. I can walk 500 miles.
See, Brant, you're a non-threatening individual.
Yes,
you know, and I
clearly.
mean that in a good
Clearly,
way.
that's why I'm working
yes,
out.
Yes. Well, yeah, because
be
you want
threatening.
to
I wanna-
scare young
I want to
children.
threaten that girl. Leave me alone.
I want her to feel fear when she sees me. Guys, speaking of fear, I often fear the dread of financial collapse. But, thankfully, due to our patrons, we don't fear these things, at least when it comes to running this show. And so I want to thank our patrons for being so supportive of us and pledging the money that they do to help make this show possible. As you know, if you listen to the last episode, we've got a new camera. So, yeah. It makes us look great. Oh
yes,
you
it
can really
does.
get a personal view of these boys over here. So, a couple of things about the Patreon. First, I want to thank our top patrons, Zach and Amber Strehle, Joe Papalardo, and Sammy Roberts. Thank you so much. You really help make the show possible. Everybody else does as well. If you want some fun bonuses, at any tier, you get access to our Discord. The $1 tier, you get an episode a day early. At the $5 tier, you get to listen to the Patreon post show.
Yes.
Right, where we get a little bit rambunctious. A little bit
We're going to
horse
ask
rousy.
Brant to rate the continents.
That's our new Patreon.
You
thing.
may be surprised.
Yeah.
Number 4 may surprise you. And at the $10 tier, you can ask us questions that we will answer in the episode. Right?
What do we got?
We got some questions. Okay, first
Oh, boy.
off,
Oh boy.
we've got Joe Papalardo.
Okay.
Fat Daddy.
Joe
Fat Daddy.
Papalardo. Okay. Let's go first off with Brant rarely drinks caffeine. What happens when he does use caffeine?
So tell us why you rarely drink caffeine in the first place.
So, I really like caffeine to work when I need it, and so I want to be able to say that, like, if I am falling asleep, if I'm driving and I just can't stay awake, if I could get a cup of coffee
Yeah.
and have like 3 sips and I'm awake, I take that as like that's a win to me,
That is a big one. Yeah.
right? And so I've always just avoided caffeine, mainly for that reason. I mean, coffee particularly. I drink tea every once in a while when I'm trying to.
So do you like the taste?
No, not really.
Oh.
I feel it's a little bitter for him.
Yeah,
But
just a little bit of it.
I bear through it, you know. I get by.
Not even like decaf with dessert?
You know what's funny? Actually, no. But
Okay.
I was gonna say I was at Christmas. We were with my aunt and we went out to eat for brunch, and she asked for an entire extra set of creamers on the table, and she, put the whole bowl, opened all of them, and put them in her coffee.
Damn.
And then she said, "Can I get another bowl of creamer?" And I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "It's all about the creamer." I said, "Why did you order coffee?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Because it would look bad if I just drank the shots of creamer." I'm like, "This looks bad."
That's gross.
There was like 20, and they were all different flavors. And,
and
she was just throwing them across the table. I
thought you said she was going to do the thing that like some old folks do, or like some Gen Xers and Boomers do, where they'll just they'll order extra creamer and then just put a whole bowl of it in their purse.
that was my grandparents.
Oh, okay,
and they didn't drink coffee.
Yeah, had creamer. Why? It's free.
No, I loved it that whenever we left a restaurant, my grandparents, they would just they'd take the sugars, they put it in their to-go box, they'd take the salt, the pepper, the napkins, they'd ask for to-go silverware and bring it all home.
You have a massive collection.
Yeah.
Well, one of these days, Brant, you were going to be, on an airplane crash in the Himalayas and just wish that you would have stashed some sugar with you, or some salt to help melt the ice that has covered your arm.
Yeah.
Is burning.
I don't know if that would work with the packets, but
I don't know, man.
Okay, so
just a little bit.
The answer to the question directly, though, is that when you drink caffeine, it works.
It works immediately.
Yeah.
So I mean,
works a little too well.
So like when I'm on the road, I'll buy the cheapest, crappiest highway coffee because I only need it for like a few sips and I'm good to go. And
that means it's probably half placebo.
Probably, and I don't like to think about that.
Yeah,
because I feel like once you think about the placebo, then it stops working.
Yeah, the thing is though, is that I haven't been in certain circumstances where I wish that I had lower tolerance for caffeine. There would be periods where I drank a lot of coffee, and I remember one time this is basically suicide. It was so stupid, but I was in the Pacific Northwest, flew to Michigan, dropped my then girlfriend, now wife, off at Hillsdale, drove back to the airport, flew to Washington, D.C., had a job interview, and then 15 hours later, flew back to Michigan and then drove to East Lansing from the airport. And that drive from to the airport from from the airport to East Lansing, I nearly died like 4 or 5 times. Yeah. It was wild. And I was just chugging. I drank coffee. I stopped at a gas station. I drank Pepsi. Still, nearly died over and over again. Actually, one of the wildest experiences I've ever had was on that trip where I pulled over to this random gas station, grabbed another Pepsi, and then this random Russian woman, ran up to me while I was standing there, and I was just just woozy, and I step out of this gas station. She runs up to me, and she's like, "Do you have an Uber gift card?" And I was like, "No, ma'am." She's like, "You know where I can find Uber gift card?" And I said, "No." She said, "I can't pay for Uber with cash. They do not accept," and I think she said like American Express or something. Like, "They do not accept American Express." And I was like,
"In America?"
And I was like, "I'm sorry, lady. I don't know where an Uber gift card is." And she was just freaking out, and she threw her arms up, and then she ran into the gas station and started yelling at the attendant about where she could find an Uber gift card. Made my way to my car and nearly killed myself by driving into the median. Pretty exciting.
On purpose.
Yeah.
And this is why I don't drink coffee.
Yeah, exactly. You did the smart thing. Yeah.
Well, there was a guy when I was in high school who actually drank like 23 cups a day. So he says. Yes. But he was constantly drinking coffee. I mean, all day long. And he was the most mellow person. And I always associate at that point that like if you cross a line where you just keep drinking it and you need coffee just to function. Yeah. And that's the part that I wanted to avoid, is I don't want to depend on caffeine to function. So
I think that in that circumstance, there are actually certain neurological situations that you can have. Like I think certain forms of ADHD and et cetera, where stimulants actually calm you down.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's a weird thing. It's why people take Adderall when they have ADHD.
But I will say I love the smell of coffee.
Coffee smells great.
I love the smell.
It tastes great.
You know what? Across every cultural divide, every country, every race, we can all agree coffee smells good.
It smells great.
Coffee smells
but then and soda, I don't know. I just don't drink it.
Yeah, soda's
it's
a bad move.
It's too sugary.
It's
not necessary. Water and milk are the only things I really drink.
Milk. Okay.
Water and milk
I grew up
together.
on skim milk.
Yeah.
So drinking it.
Well, that is literally water and milk.
Exactly. I once was running out of skim milk as a kid, and I poured more water into it, and I didn't taste the difference.
Yeah.
It's like, I got more milk, Mom.
Guys, we got more questions we got to get through here.
Yeah.
Okay, first and foremost, Samuel Roberts.
Yes, sir.
He asks, "You're on death row. Crime, you're a bad boy. No possibility of parole. What do you choose as your last meal?"
Last meal. Okay, this is a good one. This is a good one because there's a lot of different strategies. You can do something that's iconic because they'll print it, you know.
And maybe your estate could get some money off of that.
I don't know. Well, you know,
Wait, what do you mean iconic?
you know, like there's like guys who'll be like, I want a single Pop-Tart.
Yeah,
Or whatever.
yeah. Make a headline.
And then there's like also the revenge strategy because not to be crass on the show Monomaniacs, but when you die and your body enters rigor mortis a few hours after you die, your bowels are released, and so that's a whole strategy of last meal. There's many gentlemen who have ordered large quantities of Mexican food and etc. And in as much as their body can physically carry to as one last screw you to the authorities. You could do it like I feel like
that is all true.
Yeah.
By the
Yeah.
way, that is 100%.
My
true.
Really
last-
sticking it to the
my
authorities.
last meal I think would actually be Nixon's last meal as president before his resignation went through, which was I can look this up, but I'm pretty sure I might be off on a couple of details here, but I'm pretty sure it was cottage cheese, a couple of slices of pineapple, and like a fruit cocktail. And that was it. And that was the last thing he ate before he stopped being president, which is like such a 70s thing. But I would really.
I wonder what he had when he got home.
Yeah.
A Big Mac.
I think he had a scotch. I think that's what he had when he got
I'm going
home.
to Disneyland. No, so what? Just so that you could be spoken in the same breath as Richard Nixon?
Yeah, I
like,
think it'd
what's
be
the
funny.
goal?
I think it'd
Okay,
be
just for
funny.
the
So,
irony?
yeah,
Just for the name?
Criminal to criminal.
Yeah. It's
There
one
you
guy
go.
to another.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I would make a political statement with mine.
Yeah?
Right. That would be my
Try to-
goal.
you
Everything
try to-
soy.
It would be a soy vegan.
Impossible
gosh.
burger.
Yes, I would order an Impossible Burger, and I would say it has to taste good. That's my request, so that it would take forever, and I would never die because they can never feed me.
I don't think that's
So
how
I
it
think-
No,
works.
yeah,
they
I think-
will just kill you.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
They will kill you. I believe there's like some very specific qualifications on a last meal.
It depends on where you are.
Yeah, because I think sometimes it has to be easily accessible,
Yeah, from
either
the
through
cantina or
fast
whatever.
food or from the cantina or something like
Oh.
that. So you can't just like get whatever
You can't
want.
do like the lobster tail
Yeah,
and
sometimes
caviar.
I mean I've seen sometimes they, let's
Yeah.
imagine that it's not going to be like I need some fruit from guava or
Mhm.
whatever,
Mhm.
but let's the roof is pretty high.
I would say I would at least get some tapioca pudding.
Oh.
Yum.
You don't like
no, I
tapioca?
do, but why would that be your last
I
thing?
don't
Like
know, man.
you're ready to go, and that's the thing you're gonna miss most.
I would go out like I lived. Mediocrity.
like a 60-year-old woman in a retirement home.
Yeah. Goodness. What about you, Brant? What are you gonna have as your
Oh
last,
well, see,
last supper?
so you can go. You said you can go with the simple like a Pop-Tart. You can go with the revenge.
Yeah.
I mean, I really would love the idea to spend most of my time, if I know I'm on death row, to come up with the most gross and weird meal, because that's the one that they really write about. People do these challenges like, what was John Wayne Gacy's last meal? And it's like, oh, he had something relatively normal,
Yeah.
right? Or whatever. I don't remember what it was, but then you get to the guys who have, here are the really weird ones. Let's recreate these, right?
Yeah.
That's
There's like
like-
books you can buy that
Yeah.
have photos of recreations.
Last
and whatnot.
meals of
yeah.
the weird stuff. I think that would be pretty fun. I would spend a lot of my time coming up with that.
Yeah.
But if I didn't come up with anything, I'd just go with a deep dish.
A pack of
Deep
dish pizza.
A deep dish
my
pizza.
hometown, Chicago.
Yeah, a little deep dish. A little Gino's East,
Yeah. Oh, Gino's? Is that where you go with?
When I'm in the city, I go
Okay.
Gino's East.
We've
done
talked
this
about
before.
Yeah, I
We've
know.
talked
done this
about
before.
Yes.
But when I'm in the city, Gino's East. When I'm on death row, Gino's East.
I just looked it up, and Nixon's last meal I was correct, except for there was no fruit cocktail. It was just a slice of pineapple with cottage cheese
on it.
inside of the circle,
That sounds 70s. That sounds 70s.
and a glass of milk.
And a
That was
glass
of milk.
And
Wow.
that was it. A lot of dairy.
Wow.
Yeah,
dairy.
exactly. But he was a Quaker. He could take it.
They're built different.
They are built different.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So, but you still haven't really given me an answer because you're saying, okay,
Well,
if all else fails, then deep dish pizza.
Yeah,
but
go deep dish. Yeah. But no.
But if you're trying to get in the book,
Well, yeah. I mean, you have
a pack of American spirits. Like what are we going with?
Well, it wouldn't just be It'd be like
Yeah.
they're like a weird sandwich, right? Where you like
Yeah.
put like I don't know, like mac and cheese and made of cottage cheese or something.
Yeah.
Like you come with some sort of really weird
Wait, use mac and cheese that's made of cottage cheese in a sandwich?
in a sandwich, toast. Panini. You gotta press it.
A panini press?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a little bit of jelly smeared on the top.
Yeah.
Right?
You're
Yeah.
a crazy Brant,
That's
but
what
it
they do.
might just
I wonder
work.
if they do alcohol. I wonder if that.
No way.
I just like want 4 tequila shots. What's your last word? All right.
Give me some Labatt.
Yeah. It's a little bad. I want like 4 Michelob Ultras.
They're watching the figure,
Yeah.
I would like a large pint of O'Doul's, please.
Yeah.
man.
Just drinking
If-
Heineken
if-
Zeros.
If an inmate asked for O'Doul's on their death row, I would. If I was the guard, I'd give them alcoholic beer.
Wow, just to screw with them?
Yeah.
Just as a last
Yeah.
FU to this
Man,
guy?
geez, the prison system is
It's
so
tough.
Destructive.
It's so
Yeah,
destructive.
Yeah. The criminals destroyed and abused,
abused by guys like Brant.
guards.
Giving
Yeah.
them real beer.
Yeah, with their power trips.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That man was sober his entire life. And right before he could die, you took it from
He doesn't
him.
get to die with that chip.
Yeah.
It's gone.
I just imagine.
It's mine now.
I just imagine you whispering into his ear, "You won't be needing this anymore," and taking his chip out of his pocket, and then he gets fried.
And then I go home and I have a collection on my wall of.
I got real morbid all this.
That did get a little
Oh,
morbid.
goodness.
All right. Is there any more questions from?
Oh, do you want to hit another?
I think one more.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's
All right.
just-
Cool. Do you want the Sammy question or the Joe question?
What do you think, Brant?
I'll leave it up to Brant.
Mm,
If they're both for you.
both for me. Well, let's go with the Joe.
The Joe question.
No offense, Sammy. No offense.
All right.
We can answer the question in the
Yeah.
Patreon.
If you could go back in time
No.
and join Seinfeld for its 5th season, who would you replace?
Why the 5th season?
I don't even remember.
Who would you replace, and how would you hide their body to do so?
5th season. Who needs to be replaced in the 5th season?
I don't know, but I imagine. I mean, the answer for Brant is Jason Alexander.
Oh yeah, easily.
George, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why you would ever have another. Yeah, he's gonna replace
Yeah.
Eileen.
Eileen.
Yeah, but
Elaine.
Elaine, excuse me.
Wow.
That's bad. That's bad.
Cringe.
Elaine, my bad.
Cringe.
All
All right, well,
I'd
so-
hide his body in a big salad bowl.
Yeah.
Well, Joe
Into a
follows.
calzone.
Yeah.
Joe follows that question up with, "Why did you pick Jerry? Why would he ever call his shot as Jerry?
Yeah.
Joe, you know Brant better than this.
Yes,
you
he's
know
100%
Seinfeld.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Why would I? Come on. I don't know, Jerry.
Why would I
I'm George.
Oh,
Yeah,
goodness.
I mean, I bet you I could act about as well as Jerry could.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
definitely do George.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm more of a? Am I the Kramer at this table, or am I the the Eileen?
Yeah. I think you're Eileen.
Yeah.
No, I think
No, are you Bob Sacamano? Kramer's buddy. You're
Yeah.
always hooked up.
or am I a Newman?
yeah.
Am
Actually,
I
I would
good?
say you're probably George's dad. You're probably George
Oh.
Stiller,
Oh.
or what's his name? Ben Stiller's dad,
Frank.
Frank Stiller. Yeah.
No, Frank and Estelle.
Oh, Frank and Stiller, the
Yeah,
characters.
yeah, Jerry
yeah.
Stiller.
Yeah, Jerry Stiller. There
Okay.
it is. Jerry Stiller. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why that would be the case.
Why you'd be Frank?
Yeah.
You say
what-
something like "Tookus."
Because I'm the kind of guy that would say the word "tookus."
Yeah.
And this is-
I don't know what you're trying to
I
say
say,
with
this
that.
is the funniest thing is that right, Frank and Estelle are supposed to be Catholic, and
Yeah.
yet they're also supposed to be because George is David. What am I
Jason Alexander.
Jason Alexander is
Yeah.
playing the character of
Larry.
Larry David. Excuse
Oh,
me.
oh,
yeah.
okay.
So his parents in the show are supposed to be Larry David's Jewish parents.
Yeah.
I assume, right? So because George is supposed to be technically Jewish. So
Yeah.
his parents they seem just very
They seem Jewish, but they're Catholic technically.
Yeah.
Well, they don't celebrate Christmas; they celebrate Festivus.
right. So they're kind of
Yeah, they do their own thing. They got their own thing going on.
got a lot of problems with you people.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Someone gave me the Festivus game for my birthday.
Yeah.
And I brought it to my parents to play. I didn't open it, and I took it all the way out to Arizona with me.
Yeah.
And so you have your feats of strength, and you're supposed to instead of the game giving you like options
feat
or
of
like a
strength.
feats of strength
Yeah.
generator, it's you have to write them in yourself,
Yeah.
and you also have to come up with where you criticize other people, you air your grievances. And so instead of coming up with fun grievances that you get to like act out and shout,
Yeah.
you got to air your own grievances about the people you're playing the game with. So I'm like, mom and dad were like, okay, we'll play. We're not board game people, but we'll play. I'm like, no, I read the. We're not playing. It's gonna get too
Brant,
personal.
you sound like a coward.
Yeah.
I feel like you're not
Got a
able,
lot of problems with these people.
I don't want to sleep outside.
Yeah.
unable to stand up to your parents.
Under the hot Phoenix sun.
Oh, burned to a
The
crisp.
nighttime Phoenix sun.
Oh man. Well, they got fighter. They live near an Air Force base. They got fighter jets flying over every day.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Did that keep him up?
No, not them, but it kept me up.
Yeah.
I will tell you what. I swear I was outside on the phone and I was watching one fly over and you could hear it. And you can see it, obviously. And I was watching it, and I looked down for a second, looked back up, and it disappeared. But I could still hear it. And it didn't sound like it moved any further.
Brant,
So
Brant,
I swear.
if
I
a
swear.
season and a half of X-Files has taught me anything, the Air Force bases are prime for UFO activity.
Well, it was a
Exactly.
plane. It was a
Well,
jet.
Maybe it
But
turned,
it disappeared.
maybe
Even
it
if it-
maybe it went into a mountain or it turned on a cloaking device.
It was right over the house. There's no mountain over the house.
It could be
Cloaking device then.
experimental.
That's what I'm saying.
UFO
Yeah.
I saw.
technology.
That's what I'm saying. I saw experimental UFO technology or hidden FBI. I even called because I work in an airport. I called
Yeah.
the guy who runs the business, and I was like, "Yeah, you were in the Air Force for a while. You worked at the FAA. What do you think? Is this? Did I see something?" He's like, "I can't answer that." Like, "Oh no, you didn't."
There you go.
He's like, "Yeah."
Brant.
Yeah, I feel like every Air Force guy I've ever met is like probably alien technology.
Yeah.
They always just sort of like insinuate it. But
No, I don't know. I mean, it is interesting. I mean, I'm surprised if we don't already have that technology that
Yeah.
planes can just disappear, like visibly disappear. Like, it makes sense to me. I just don't know why they do it over 55 plus community. Like, you're just a little bit further. You're
it's because when you ask a 55 and over person to say, "I think I saw a plane disappear," like, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, sounds good, Poopa.
Here's
Yeah.
your
Have you been sitting out in the sun a lot?
It gets pretty hot out there.
Here's your tapioca pudding. Go
Yeah.
back in. Shuffle on
Oh,
along.
tapioca, my favorite.
Oh, man.
Oh,
I'll tell you what. Also, being out there in the 55 up community, I got pretty good at pickleball.
Oh yeah, that's
that was a thing.
the sensation sweeping the nation. Did you get good at 55 at pickleball, or could you just beat people over the age of 55?
They're pretty dang good.
Yes,
True.
They
They're
play a lot of
pretty
pickleball.
The great thing about pickleball is how little mobility you truly need for it.
It's
Yeah.
the fourth the size of a tennis court.
Yeah, some people I've heard mixed claims about pickleball as its rise in popularity, and one of the things people are claiming is that it's just because Americans don't.
Want to move?
Yeah, they just can't play tennis. It's just too physically intense.
Honestly, though, every time I played it, I wanted to go back to playing tennis.
Yeah,
But I mean, it was still pretty impressive. There was some, mid 80-year-old men there that it was difficult. I was still learning. This guy was on my team. He was
Yeah.
wearing a full red like Santa tracksuit,
yeah.
and his legs never bent, and he just kind of stood there, and he's like, "Oh, that one's yours." Okay, it's like just flying by, and
Yeah.
he's not moving.
Well, one thing about pickleball that I've enjoyed because I've played it before, we got it like really early in the
Yeah.
Pacific Northwest
Very
because
Oh,
we
you
took
guys are,
I took a
you're ahead.
I took racket sports and I played every racket sport, one of which was pickleball, and it's nice how much control you have because in tennis I always felt like I was like the ball was getting away from
leaving
me
it up to
constantly.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like every
Yeah.
time I would hit it, I was like, too much power, not enough power, right? But like in pickleball, you can kind of, you have a little bit more
It's because
control.
it's a
You
plastic
could just
ball
thwack
that doesn't.
that thing, dude.
Yeah.
You can thwack it, but it
Yeah.
also it kind of also like falls flat.
Yeah.
If you don't hit it with the right enough.
The verve.
Right. Tennis, you just boop, and it can shoot.
Yes. Which is part of the reason why, people don't like playing tennis because then you have to go.
You just run off after it. Yeah. Half the time you play tennis is just
All the
running in
tit, tit,
circles.
Yeah.
I like that. I just like seeing you running. And
Yeah, I'm
there you
like,
go. Well, Brant, before
sir.
we roll into the Patreon, because that'll
Yeah.
probably be within the next, I don't know. Well, how are you doing on time? 5 minutes. Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah.
We got to put a bow on our conversation about your self-improvement, Brant.
Mhm.
Couple of things.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
First and foremost, what is your motivation? Why, Brant? What
Why?
has caused you to want to improve yourself?
to get better.
To get better?
I just think it's one. I think it's about time.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a quote, and I've seen it thrown around on some of the fitness pages more, and I don't remember who they attributed to, but it was like, it's a shame for a man to grow old and never know what they could have been like when they were young, or like their own strength. I know I butchered it, but I'm close.
Yeah.
that certainly is part A. I think I know what you're driving at.
No, I don't know what you're talking about at all. I'm not trying to imply anything.
But no, I for one, I think it is. I think it's important to know especially before you become 30, like the best that you can possibly physically be at. While you still can before everything starts hurting. So that's A, and B is get myself ready to meet more people.
Yeah.
And
okay. Are you implying that that's why I brought up the question?
No.
Why would
you are implying that, Brant?
Am I?
Why would you accuse me of such? Brant, I
if
thought we were friends.
If Dylan was to do so, that would be very low of him.
Yeah,
incredibly
it'd be very low of me. And I can't believe you would.
Well, good.
Say that I would do such a thing.
We don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
Fine.
Done.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Monomaniacs. I'm your host, Shadrach Strehle.
Goodness. Man. No, but yeah, I mean, it's I resonate with that a lot. It's kind of tough because I feel like I wish I had a little bit of that extra motivation, because I feel like now that I'm a married individual, it's a little harder for me to find that level of motivation.
Yeah.
Right. To be like, okay, because like I basically have enough friends where I don't feel like I want any more of them. I'm pretty friended up. I've got too many things going on, so I'm like, I don't want to do more friends. You
got a wife, you got Lucy.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm not out here trying to impress anybody.
Yeah.
And my job is remote, so I'm not in person with anybody. So I mean, it's one of those things where I could be like the vampire Blade,
yeah,
that big the
Daywalker.
No, the big one,
the vampire god, the blood god.
No, the big one that's laying in the computer room. The hacker,
yes.
the vampire hacker.
Yes,
who's 600 pounds and pale and has got.
Oh, you don't want to be that.
Ears,
yeah,
and it's just this big fat blob. Look it up. Look it up. It's a
all
great
you
image.
out there, look that up.
Actually, just watch the movie Blade. It's a
really
great
good.
movie.
Yeah, the new one's probably not going to be as good.
Yeah,
probably not going to be as good.
Blade 2049.
That's pretty good. Never mind, it is going to be as good.
Yeah,
I
was about to be like, that's actually not funny. And then I was like, wait, no, that is funny. That is clever. That is good.
Oh man, no, I mean, like I said, I think it's important to do your best, and when I was younger, I always kept saying, this is the year I'm going to work hard to get more in shape, and I never did. And that finding that motivation, or having the motivation enough to do it. You gotta want it, but then you really, really gotta want it. I kept thinking I wanted it, but I guess I never did.
Yeah.
And now that now that I am getting closer to 30, and a lot more of my friends are getting married, and they're losing the time to do those things, I still have the time.
Yeah.
I figure I might as well give it my best.
Yeah.
And see where I go. And I'll tell you what, I mean, like I said, being 10 pounds down, I said, Matt Nolan has the worst lighting in his bathroom. I'm staying with him right now. But the mirror, it's like 2 living room sconces next to his mirror. I'm very appreciative of getting to stay with him. But I started like doing bodybuilding poses a little bit. And just the arms.
Hey!
Oh, well,
I'm glad that there's a camera between us and the audience, so
They'd
be crashing through.
We'll save it for the
Trying to get to
Patreon.
you.
But no, anyway, it was just really interesting. So I'm actually kind of my next obsession maybe is to learn a little bit more about posing.
Yes, sculpting.
Yeah, sculpting. I got to keep going. Got to keep losing the weight first, and then get to sculpting.
Right.
But I would be, because part of it is, I think I can get to a really interesting physical appearance here, and I'd be very interested just to see where I was a few years ago to where I could potentially be.
Well, I'm happy for you.
So that's been the motivation, is to give it one good go before you're over 30, 40, and you look back.
Yeah, I mean, because this is probably your final go. This is probably your final chance.
Yeah.
After this, if you can't do it now, you'll never do it.
Never.
So, I mean, I think we can all agree.
It's only going to get harder.
It's only
You
gonna
can just
get
be one of
worse.
those like weird 70-year-olds who's like ripped as hell and is on testosterone replacement
Yeah.
therapy.
Who's got like this, neck muscles that are incredibly thick.
Yeah, those guys, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
They're always so tan. They're
Yeah.
always tan as hell.
Oh, I don't like that.
Wow.
Yeah, that is the weird thing about that bodybuilding world, is like all the fake tan they have to do.
That is the one weird thing. You're right.
Yeah.
There's no
The
other
one,
weird
the
thing.
big.
Yeah, the big weird thing about it. Brant, anything you want to plug? Maybe your Catholic match profile. I don't know. Anything else?
Look me up on-
Socials.
As you said, look me up on Catholic Match.
Ah.
Maybe I'll add a hinge someday. We'll see.
Oh, we're branching out.
We're branching out. We're hinging out.
We're hinging out. Yeah,
Yes,
swinging out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't phrase it like that. Anyway, have a good one.